Hey, what's up, everyone? We're live on playback. This is Zinger Part 2. Hope you all are doing well and everything else like that. It is Sunday morning here in the suburbs of Chicago. It is the first signs of snow, which means we're getting closer and closer to the true meaning of the holiday season, meaning Thanksgiving and Christmas. So excited to be joined by you guys this morning. A lot to discuss in the world of sports, college football, last minute NFL picks. We'll check in on the Colts game as well. They're playing in Berlin right now against Atlanta. And of course, we'll also go over some UFC stuff as well. And as much as we can in the next 30 minutes or so. But let's get down to business here. We're about a minute into the stream. Let's take care of some particulars out of the gate first. So here we go without further ado. All right, here we go. So, Zanzinger Part 2 is powered by Nova, America's #1 sports prediction market, available now in 35 states, including California. Well, at the end of the month, it won't be, but California, Texas, Florida, Georgia, and New York. I Nova, you're 10 times more likely to win a long term compared to a traditional sports book because you're playing against real users and not just the house. Sign up today and use the promo code ETB Network. That is ETB NETWORK for exclusive bonuses, of course. No big where fans play smarter. Must be 21 years or older to play. Please gamble responsibly. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. So that's the no big read. That's out of the way. A general reminder as well. We're not going to get into the full thing. But every stream on playback as of about a week ago within our network is now on Kick and Twitch. So if you want a new way to see me live and you don't have time to either go to playback or YouTube, you can also do so on Kick and Twitch. That is ETB Network on both Kick and Twitch. You can follow us and watch our streams there as well. That is another way that we are bringing content to you guys on a consistent basis and just new mediums to be able to watch us. Eventually, it's going to be probably a Twitter connection, an Instagram connection, which means for those of you who follow me on Instagram, you can watch with me on my Instagram live eventually, and of course on Twitter as well. But that's it for introductions for now. Let's get into the nitty gritty of this stream today. We're going to be talking about college football to start because there was a lot of stuff that happened in college football. We have to start with the inevitable though, and we don't usually share a screen on this, but we have to in this instance because this was unbelievable. Let's take a look at this here. So, Omar Cooper, in case you guys don't know, household name overnight. Watch this. End of the game, Penn State. Look at this. Game-winning touchdown catch. I mean, this is the most unreal thing you will ever see.
Oh my gosh! Wow, that's the best catch I have seen all season long.
Yeah, so there you go. So Omar Cooper delivering the goods there for Indiana. Let's stop that. Share Indiana still undefeated on the season. They're beating Penn State by 3, 27-24. Unfortunately, we had that on Nova yesterday. We lost. We went 1-2 on college football plays yesterday. The only one we got right was Iowa covering against Oregon at Kinnick Stadium. That was an exciting game at Kinnick. Oregon with the last second field goal to win the game by a couple of points to cover that number in a huge way. Huge way. So fun stuff there. That was a good game. But we got to talk about some of the other Big Ten scores as well because there were some interesting games. So let's take a look at just the slate, what it was. We should pull that up too. Nonetheless, though, let's take a look at some other scores from around the country. All right, here we go. So, before we get into what the Week 12 slate is going to look like, let's take a look back here because we had some fun stuff that occurred this past week. So on Friday night, we had USC take on Northwestern. Obviously, Northwestern had a 4-game winning streak snapped by Nebraska a couple weeks ago. And we're trying to pull a significant upset to change the trajectory of the AP as well as college football playoff rankings. So USC was able to pull away, they'll win the game 38-17. That was a good game. Ohio State won again to remain undefeated, failed to cover a big number, but was able to beat Purdue, a bad Purdue team, let's be honest here, 35 to or 34-10. And then Rutgers played Maryland. As we know, Maryland is going to be going to Champaign next Saturday. I will be there for the Veterans Day game. It'll be Illinois looking to go to 7-3 on the year with 2 games to go. Maryland, unfortunately, faltered in a big way against a Rutgers team that did not look very good in Champaign. Um, just 1 week ago. Illinois was on the bye this past week. Rutgers won the game 35-20. And then the shocker of the day, without a doubt, Washington is going to more than likely fall out of the CFP rankings for probably good. They went to Madison yesterday, played a horrible Wisconsin team that hadn't won a game against a ranked team in 4 years, upsets the Huskies 13-10. It was a field storm. It was something of epic proportions. Let's just say that. I'm getting blown up. I don't know what's going on. Hang on. Oh. All right. That's nothing to worry about. Anyway, but yeah, Wisconsin won 13-10. That's a huge upset. They're still somehow alive for bowl eligibility with 3 games to go. Its schedule gets way harder though. As such, that was probably the worst of the good teams, quote unquote, that Wisconsin will play. Let's take a look at its remaining football schedule because I don't remember it offhand. All right, so here we go. So Wisconsin has 2 very tough games, and I knew about one of them, but Wisconsin has 2 very tough games. They go to Indiana. Obviously, Indiana just barely beat Penn State, but I think Indiana should be able to handle them there with ease. And then they play an Illinois team that I think is playing better as of late since the loss to Washington. And then they end the season with Minnesota in the final game of the year. And that's in Minneapolis. That's the weekend of Thanksgiving. So I don't know. Maybe there's 2 more. I don't know. Maybe there's 1 more win in there. I don't see how they beat Illinois. I really don't. I think Illinois is a very good football team right now, and I think they have made the corrections. That should be a game that Illinois should be able to win comfortably. Maybe a tough first quarter, or so, a quarter and a half. But overall, though, I think they should be able to win that game with ease. I'm not worried about that. And then Minnesota, they're hit or miss. You don't know what you're going to get. So that game may be close, but for sure, I think bowl eligibility, the possibility of that ends this coming Saturday in Bloomington against the Hoosiers. So good win for Wisconsin. It's the first Big Ten win of the year. Horrible loss for Washington. Now their season looks like it's dead in the water. Um, they have three losses now. They're not going to make the college football playoff, but we can at least say with certainty who they have left. Um, this is a 8-4 football team. Given who they have left, they'll beat Purdue this week. It's a night game at Washington. They'll beat UCLA at UCLA, and then they'll lose to Oregon. So I would say 8-4 is in the cards for the Huskies, which actually is good news for Illinois because now Illinois, even though the head-to-head tiebreaker exists, Illinois could finish with a better overall record than the Huskies by season's end, meaning 9-3 versus 8-4, but all that remains to be seen as well. All right, so that's kind of the roundup in the Big Ten for the week that was November 8th. So let's move on to something a little bit more substantial. Let's talk about what's going on in combat sports at the moment. Before we get to what an absolutely electric card, at least the main card was, of UFC Vegas 111, let's talk about Jon Jones's latest interview on the No Scripts podcast with Zaid Hussein and or Hussein rather. My apologies, man. And his buddy Giordani. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but they had a huge podcast. They're like they're an up and coming independent show, and they had Jon Jones on. They had Jon Jones on after Dirty Boxing Championships a couple weeks ago now. This was now not last week, not last Thursday, but the Thursday before. And Jon Jones opened up about how he wants his career to finish up in the UFC. So let's do a screen share again. Let's take a look at that, and let me give my reaction to Jon Jones's comments here. So here we go.
You talk about you're still writing your story. Does the perfect story end with the White House fight and riding off into the sunset?
I think my most immediate goal is to try to be on the White House card.
Okay.
And
you talking to Dana? How's he feeling?
You know, I'm giving Dana his space. You know, Dana has changed my life.
Yes, he
has changed my life. He's changed my children's lives.
Yeah.
I'm forever grateful to him. We had a verbal agreement that didn't go over well. Nothing was finalized. I was wrong.
You'll make it right at the White House.
The way things went down, I was wrong. And I wish that I could see him face to face and just apologize to him, and so that we can let bygones be bygones and get back to making some major money for the sport and really entertaining these fans.
He's a businessman, and there's no doubt that you are his favorite fighter of all time. There's the memes of it. He loves you. It's a matter of time.
When he's feeling me, I think I'm one of his favorite fighters. When he's not feeling me, I'm probably the reason why he has a bald head.
So I don't know, man. I think it's a lot of fight speak there. I think there was more to that than what he said. I really do. I think the whole thing was extremely convoluted. And when I say whole thing, um I'm talking about um Jones Jones not fighting Aspinall last year or earlier this year. What am I talking about? Earlier this year. Well, it could have been last year, but it is what it is. He had to fight Stipe. That's beside the point. Point is now what is he going to do moving forward? I don't know, but what I can tell you is there's a huge liability risk if they put him on that White House card, man. He's not delivered on several occasions. When you think he's going to deliver, he doesn't deliver, and it backfires, and it makes everybody look bad within the organization. And it's just a bad look, man. It's a bad look. It's as simple as that. And the UFC has to be very careful that they don't mess this up. Because if they mess this up, the only person that they can blame is themselves because they allowed it to happen. So they got to be very careful. They got to be strategic, and they got to make Jones happy. And making Jones happy would mean giving him Pereira, and it would, have Pereira move up to heavyweight. I don't know if he vacates the title or not. It would be cool if he put the light heavyweight belt on the line, moving up to heavyweight. Where if he loses the light heavyweight title in the process. I don't know if that would ever happen, but that would be kind of a cool scenario too, considering what the mess is at heavyweight right now. But nonetheless, though, interesting stuff. He goes on to later talk about the Cyril Gane Tom Aspinall fight, how he essentially believes that Tom Aspinall was looking for a way out, which I completely disagree with. He was poked in the eye, literally. I mean, it was so obvious that it's not even a question. He was poked in the eye. It was a literal poke in the eye, and it didn't boil over well. It didn't boil over well at all near the end of that fight or the end of that sequence. So not a good look though. Not a good look for Gane. Aspinall, especially because it was supposed to be his signature fight, his signature win, if you will, and it did not happen that way. So, not a good look for Jon Jones whatsoever. But yeah, I do think though a Pereira fight is very interesting, and I think that it's a fight that the UFC should consider making because I think it would bring a lot of people together. I think Pereira's a household name. I think it's an exciting fight, and there's a lot of stakes. There's a lot of stakes attached to it, and I think it should be interesting. So there's that as well. We are halfway through the stream, which means it is time, ladies and gentlemen, to check in on the Colts and the Falcons from Berlin, Germany, to see how that game is going because I have no idea. So let's do it. All right, Colts are losing 14-13 early in the third quarter. It's just after halftime. That game is on NFL Network. Unfortunately, I am unable to show you guys any of it because Playback does not have the rights to stream NFL Network games, but they do have the NFL Red Zone, which is coming up later on. Speaking of, let's plug that. In the next 45 or so minutes, I will be off the stream. You will hear from Grant Winsauer, Michael Rapolo, and Ben Cruz. They will take you all the way up until the 1 p.m. Eastern kickoff, which leads right into NFL Red Zone here on the Playback TV ETV Network channel. That'll take you through the next 7 hours. And then after that, it is going to be um, moving the goalposts leftovers, I'm pretty sure, following this stream. I'm not. I think that's right. I'm gonna double check, but there is a immediately after Red Zone stream, which should be very interesting. I don't know what's going on. Oh, okay. Let's take a look. No, it's unnecessary. Unnecessary wagers on. Oh yeah, so I guess let's just say it. So we'll have unnecessary wagers with Liam Bardwick and Nick DiMartino on Tuesday. That's going to be this week, and as well as 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. Um, it'll be Nick DiMartino solo for moving the goalpost leftovers, where he will discuss the NFL trade deadline, his trip to Austin, Texas, and recapping NFL Week 10 and college football Week 11, as did I just a little bit ago with college football. So you will get his own rendition of that, probably, or at least mostly geared towards the SEC and of course the AFC, as the Jets are his favorite football team. So that's the upcoming playback schedule. There's also, of course, the November 12th playbacks big day. That's an all NBA NBA extravaganza. I'll be on for part of that. I'm not going to be on the whole stream because it's too many hours, but it's basketball, basketball, basketball. For those who still don't have access to ESPN, particularly not particularly those who are not being catered right now by YouTube TV to the ESPN and ABC based content, which has shot a lot of people out of sorts over the last week with their carriage dispute. So there is that as well. But stay tuned for all that. A lot of playback stuff on the horizon. And speaking of, with about 10 minutes to go, let's talk about what Bando's Breakdowns is going to be like this week. You get an early inside scoop on that. So Bando's Breakdowns is back this week, episode 67. It'll air this Friday, November 14th, 3 Eastern, noon Pacific as usual. It is going to look a little bit different because I was lucky enough to speak to Michael Chandler, courtesy of Form Energy. You'll find the full interview in the episode. You'll also find stories to come on Sports Illustrated's MMA Knockout, so that'll be very exciting. Those are not out yet. They will be out soon, though. We're waiting on the edits of the interview first. Once we get those, then we can start cranking on pieces. But just wanted to say, shout out to them. Thank you so much for making that happen. They were awesome They were awesome to meet. Michael Chandler was great. Excited for his RAF event in Chicago when he competes against Chad Mendes at the end of the month. It's 20 days from now. I will be there. That Saturday night, the weekend of Thanksgiving. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, I had a great time talking to Chandler. Will he fight Conor McGregor? Is the big question. He wants it. He wants it. He verbally wants it. But will the UFC budge and actually try the rigmarole all over again? It remains to be seen. But that's episode 67. That's the different part, but it's going to be the same show as usual. We'll recap college football. This past week, we'll preview Illinois, Maryland, which I will be in person for, which I'm very excited about. It'll be my fifth Illinois game this season. Um, I could make it to six if I go to the Northwestern game to make it 6 out of 7 home games, which would be very exciting. I've never done that before, where I've gone to every home game except one. So I would very much be grateful if I was able to do that. That's to be determined. That would be very cool though if I went 6 out of 7. And then potentially the bowl game based on where it is, I'll probably go. But with that being said, though, with a few minutes left, we're gonna wrap it up here. With one more thing, we're gonna go over the rest of my NFL survivors. If the Colts win today, I will be 90-46 going into the 1 Eastern window. But if I'm not, obviously that'll be in the loss category at 89-47. But still, there's tons of game left, so you never know what might happen there. All right, let's see what else we have. So we won on Thursday night. Denver defeated the Raiders. We have the Colts right now. We're losing by 4. I got the Bears today, the Bills today, the Vikings today, the Jets today in an upset. This is straight up. Tampa Bay, the Panthers, the Texans, the Seahawks, the Rams, the Lions, Pittsburgh, and the Green Bay Packers. And for today's survivors, we like the Bears today. We like the Bills today. And we also picked, who else did we pick? The Bears today, the Bills today, and let's see. Oh, the Bears, the Bills, and Detroit. That's who we had today. That's who we have today. So trying to do better than 1-2 this past week, trying to get you back to the winning track. If we were to go 3-0 today, we would be 24-6 for the season, which actually isn't all that bad. I would totally take that in a heartbeat. All right, so those are the NFL predictions. To kind of round things out, let's talk about UFC Vegas 111 really quick. Let's give it the shine that I think it deserves because it was a good card. Last night I didn't do that good. Uh, let's see, how did I do? Oh shit. Oh, oh god. I went 2-12. I forgot to change some of these. I had 2-2. Oh my god. Yeah, I gotta fix this. I was wrong. I had this totally backwards. Sorry, I did not want you guys to see me sneeze on camera. So there's that. We did horrible last night. 2-12. I thought I went 4-8. Apparently I didn't. How did I have 2? Oh my. Let's see here. Let's see. I will fix this. So we went 2-12. We did really bad last night. So it is what it is. We did terrible. That's unfortunate. 2-12 is the worst I've done all year. I thought last week topped it, or a couple weeks ago topped it with my 3-10 clip. But 2-12 is awful. I thought I went 4-8. I was almost positive I did, but apparently Tapology decided to crap out because there were a few of those that wow, I'm very surprised. Um, but yeah, 2-12 is terrible. The only ones we got right were Hoken and Morales. That's how bad we did. We did so bad. We didn't do that. We will fix this. We will make it right. Um, there we go. There we go. Fuck. We need it bad. Let me just see. Let me just make sure. I am so confused at the moment. I am so sorry, guys. What in the hell happened last night? Okay, let's take a look. I did really bad apparently. Let's fix this. Let's make it right. Let's take a look. Oh and 1, 0 and 2, 0 and 3, 1 and 3, 1 and 4, 1 and 5, 1 and 6, 1 and 7. Yep. Yep, I messed up. Yep. Yep, we did really bad, guys. We fucked up. We fucked up in a big way. Fucked up bad. This was a horrible card. This is a card that we got to forget. 2 and 12. The worst clip of the entire season. Really bad. The one of the worst cards I think I've ever predicted. This was a terrible card. Terrible card predictions wise. Let's fix it. All right, let's fix the record. $258 and 206. Holy shit. That's really bad. 258 and 206. Holy cow. I did so bad. Wait. Let me just double check that. Yeah, holy cow. Yeah, Jack did good though. He went 8 and 4. So we're 2 and 10. What am I talking about? Hang on. 2 and 10. Not 2 and 12. What am I talking about? Yeah, not good. Jack did really well though. He had Reese, he had Marcos, he had Hokit, he had Cavalcante, he had Leroy Duncan, Padilla, Morales, and Bonfini. He did really good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He did really good. He did really good on this card. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I was bad. I was bad. And yeah, he's up on me by a significant amount. He's up on me what is it? Like almost 30 fights. So not good, but we're out of time though. That's going to do it for Zain Zinger Part 2. Thank you so much for tuning in. You got to start fading my picks, guys. What can I tell you? We'll try to do better on UFC 322 this coming Saturday, but this is one that I got to throw in the trash. I'm really disappointed. I'm like so disappointed in myself that you have no idea. I did so bad on this card. But yeah, nonetheless though, We'll try to do better next week. This was a complete embarrassment on my part. We will do a whole lot better. But nonetheless, though, that's going to do it for another edition of Zain Zinger Part 2. I'm Zan Bando. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys soon. Have a good one.